Hi, I'm Sean Casey. I've got a tip for you that maybe should be the first tip you listen to and work on in your golf swing, which is that of working on your grip. I know when I was a kid, it was probably one of the first things I worked on, and I worked on it probably for that whole first year I learned the game, is we were working on grip, grip, grip all the time. So, you know, I see a lot of golfers, they sort of resort back to what's ever comfortable to them. Maybe they took up baseball first and they're sort of gripping it like a baseball bat or what have you. They kind of put comfort before what's most important, which is good mechanics. So, you know, the comfort, it'll get comfortable. You know, obviously the most natural way for you to hold the club might not be the best way to hold the club. So you've got to change that. You've got to understand and learn the proper grip and practice it. And at some point it will get comfortable. I can tell you, being here now at PGA Village at the Canadian Club Pro Championship, you look around and at some of the pros that are down here from Canada, almost everybody's got a good grip. And that's not to say that they're all the same. There's no doubt there's a lot of room for variability and depending on their hands and how long their fingers are and their tendencies and building a golf swing. No doubt about it. You're going to build a golf swing around your grip. There's some guys that have strong grips and have a lot of body movement. And then there's other strong guys with weak grips because they don't want to miss left and have a hook, what have you. But again, you look at the average pro and their grip is much better and their hands are more connected and together than the average amateur. So I'm going to give you a little closer look at my grip and what I try to do. It's important that your hands do work together as a unit. Now with my left hand on the club, it being sort of the control hand and what controls the club head and twist and turn it, it's very important that you don't have the hand too far over. You see some amateurs trying to get rid of a slice and they bring that hand way over. Well, that's just going to cause you to have the club more than likely in a closed or shut position. So you don't want to go too strong. You want to go into sort of a natural position. If you let your hand hang naturally, like this, and then swing it onto the club how it hangs naturally, it'll probably go on in pretty much the ideal position. Now for years you've heard people talk about knuckles, 1, 2 knuckles when they look down. That's not bad, that works a little bit. I prefer, once you bring that thumb up to the top of the club, and connect the skin right here. Obviously I got the glove on, but connect the leather and the skin that would be in here. Once you form that V would point somewhere up to the right of my head. Maybe to my right ear, but not way over to my right shoulder like some people say. I would not recommend for most of you having that point the right shoulder. Now, if you're a beginner, you're a junior, maybe you're a senior citizen looking for extra power, if you find you hit slices all the time out to the right, weak shots, then yes, you might go as far as putting that to the back shoulder. But for the intermediate or certainly the better player, you know, I think there's a range there of acceptability, but I like to see somewhere closer to the right ear, right collarbone. Okay, so that's a good left-hand position. 2 knuckles, V up to my right ear, right collarbone, thumb pretty much on the top of the club. My right hand, again, is going to be in the fingers. I don't know if I mentioned that with the left hand, but if I unravel that, you're going to see that the club is in fact in the fingers of my left hand. Okay, so in the fingers of the left hand and the right hand. Okay, lower hand in the fingers. I like to join them by having an overlap. You might do an interlock, but I have an overlap grip, just that one pinky fitting in between the first and second finger, and the other 3 fingers on the club with the shaft going right through the middle of my fingers. Okay, connected here, and then the pad or the palm of my right hand is going to cover up this thumb. When all said and done and you finish it off, you'll notice the hands are very much together as a unit. The V's to some degree line up. You're not going to see one V or line pointing up here and this one over here. You're going to notice the V's pretty much line up. I like to see that the V on the right hand, if anything, is parallel to or slightly inside of, some would say weaker than, the left hand. I don't like to see that lower hand V stronger than or pointed more out this way than this V. Parallel for sure, and if you can get that right hand even more on top, that lower hand, get that V as Hogan worked on, pointing more at his chin. I think for the better players, and certainly if you want to be a better player, you might consider having that lower hand V point more at the chin. So there's a good grip tip for you. Work on your grip. It's probably the most important setup fundamental before you hit a golf shot. Work on it. If you haven't gotten comfortable with it, work on it over the winter months. Get comfortable with it, make it feel good, and I'm sure next summer you'll hit the ball